Freedom is absolute news, third weekend, July 2026. Appeal against Laijn's criminal fines. Let me briefly recap the two wrongs committed by the government against the Flemish people that I discussed in the previous news update. Lijn forces Flemish citizens with a valid subscription to provide personal private data every time they board a bus by threatening them with fines. Neither the mandatory scanning of subscriptions upon boarding nor these fines have any effect on fare evaders. Lijn is stealing money from Flemish citizens through these fines. Below is the appeal I recently submitted to Lijn's fines department boats at Lijn, B. Yes, you read that correctly. You submit your appeal to the very department that issued the fine. They do not even make an effort to maintain the appearance of impartiality. I hereby appeal your fine. My 12-year-old son scanned his subscription card when boarding the bus, but it did not work at that moment. When the inspector checked it later, it worked correctly, and it has also worked on subsequent bus journeys. This means that some kind of technical glitch occurred with either the scanner or the card at the time of boarding. Requiring us to prove afterwards that such a glitch occurred, or that the device may even have been defective, is practically impossible and constitutes an infringement of our fundamental civil rights as holders of a valid subscription. Furthermore, the mere fact that an inspector issues a fine to a subscription holder after establishing, or being able to establish on the spot, that the person has a valid prepaid subscription constitutes a serious infringement of our fundamental civil rights as subscription holders. My son was not traveling without a valid fare. He demonstrated this by presenting his valid subscription, and the inspector confirmed through his tablet that the subscription was valid. A fine for fare evasion is therefore entirely unjustified. If you are issuing this fine because of your requirement that subscription holders scan their cards when boarding, a requirement that is completely ineffective in preventing fare evasion, this too constitutes a serious infringement of our fundamental civil rights as subscription holders. Requiring subscription holders to scan their cards when boarding has no effect whatsoever on fare evaders. Please provide your evidence that it does. I will have no difficulty demonstrating the flaws in your evidence. If instead this fine is intended to collect personally identifiable travel information, then it constitutes an even more serious infringement of our fundamental civil rights as subscription holders. By systematically requiring the scanning of personalized subscriptions, you are seriously violating the privacy of all subscription holders, particularly vulnerable children, elderly people, and other vulnerable individuals. To be continued, Paca Small.